Life is working. You're functioning. You're capable. You're doing what needs to be done. And yet something feels off. Not broken. Not dramatic. Just empty. This is the kind of emptiness that confuses you. Because there's no clear reason for it. Nothing terrible happened. Nothing obvious is missing. And still, something inside you has gone quiet. You don't wake up excited. But you're not depressed either. You move through your days. You get things done. You smile when appropriate. And underneath all of that, there's a question you don't quite know how to ask. Is this really it? Carl Jung noticed this pattern again and again. People didn't come to him because their lives were falling apart. They came because their lives were working. And somehow, that made the emptiness harder to explain. Because when life works, you feel guilty for wanting more. You tell yourself to be grateful. You tell yourself not to complain. You tell yourself that this is just adulthood. But the feeling doesn't go away. It waits quietly. Jung believed this kind of emptiness had nothing to do with failure. It had to do with direction. He noticed that many people live for years guided by outer demands, expectations, roles, standards they didn't consciously choose. And at first, this works. It brings structure, stability, a sense of progress. But slowly, something changes. The goals you once chased stop pulling you forward. Achievements feel flatter than expected. The future feels vague instead of exciting. You're still moving, but you're no longer being led from within. Jung believed the psyche needs an inner center. Not happiness, not constant pleasure, but orientation. A sense that your life is moving toward something meaningful to you. When that inner orientation is lost, emptiness appears. Not as pain, but as absence of meaning. You're not unhappy. You're not overwhelmed. You're simply no longer aimed. This is why distractions don't solve it. You can fill your schedule. You can stay busy. You can scroll, consume, plan, improve. But the emptiness returns in quiet moments. Because it's not asking for stimulation. It's asking for alignment. Jung warned that when people ignore this signal, they don't collapse. They continue functioning. But their lives become thinner. Less color. Less depth. Less inner movement. Relationships feel polite rather than alive. Days blend together. Time starts moving faster. Not because life is full, but because nothing inside you is truly engaged. This is often when people say, "I don't know what I want anymore." And that sentence carries shame. Because you think you should know. By now. But Jung saw this not as a weakness. He saw it as a transition. A moment when old motivations no longer work, and new ones haven't been discovered yet. The psyche is recalibrating. Emptiness is the pause. The space between borrowed goals and an authentic inner direction. This is why forcing answers doesn't help. If you try to decide quickly, if you pressure yourself to find purpose, if you demand clarity too soon, the emptiness deepens. Because meaning doesn't respond to force. Carl Jung believed meaning emerges when you listen long enough for something real to speak. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. Often through restlessness, through dissatisfaction, through the sense that your current life, while functional, is no longer sufficient for who you're becoming. This is not a failure of gratitude. It's a signal of growth. If this is resonating, stay with me for a moment. You might want to like and subscribe so you don't lose this thread. Jung believed that when people ignore this inner signal, they often try to fix it externally. They change jobs. They seek intensity. They chase new roles or relationships. Sometimes that helps briefly, but the emptiness returns. Because the issue was never outside. It was orientation. You can change the scenery, but if your inner compass is still silent, the same feeling follows you. This is why emptiness often appears after stability is achieved. When survival is handled. When identity is established. The psyche asks a deeper question. What now? Jung believed this question marked the beginning of individuation, the movement away from living as a role and toward living as a whole person. Not by rejecting the world, but by no longer letting the world define you entirely. This process feels uncomfortable, because certainty dissolves. You can no longer rely on what once motivated you, and for a while, nothing replaces it. That in-between space is emptiness, but it is not meaningless. It is fertile. Jung saw this stage as necessary. Without it, people remain psychologically adolescent. They live by rules, by scripts, by expectations, never discovering what their life actually wants to become. If you feel empty right now, it does not mean you made the wrong choices. It means those choices have done their job, and something deeper is asking for a voice. This does not mean you must change everything. It means you must listen differently, not to what is practical, not to what is impressive, but to what feels inwardly necessary. Jung believed that meaning reveals itself not through thinking, but through attention. Attention to what energizes you. Attention to what drains you. Attention to what keeps returning to your thoughts. The psyche speaks through patterns, through repeated longings, through persistent dissatisfaction, through the quiet sense that something essential has been postponed for too long. Emptiness is the moment when the psyche refuses to be ignored any longer. Not angrily, firmly. It withdraws its enthusiasm until you turn inward and ask the right question. Not what should I do, but what is trying to emerge? Jung believed this question changes everything, because it shifts life from management to meaning. You stop living to maintain an image, and begin living to honor an inner truth. This is not a quick process. It unfolds slowly, through reflection, through honest choices, through small acts of alignment. And the emptiness does not vanish overnight. It softens. It becomes a guide rather than a void. If this gave words to something you've been carrying quietly, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It helps this reach others standing at the same inner crossroads. You are not broken. You are not behind. Your life isn't empty because it failed. It feels empty because it is asking to be reoriented. And that moment, as Jung understood, is not an ending. It is the beginning of a life that is no longer just functional, but meaningful. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of your heart, and may love always guide your path.